Tyrion was staring at his nephew with his mismatched eyes. Perhaps a knife, sire, to match your sword, a dagger of the same fine Valyrian steel, with a dragon bone hilt, say. Joffrey gave him a sharp look. Yes, a dagger to match my sword. Good. He nodded. A gold hilt with rubies in it. Dragon bone is too plain. So that's really kind of it on it, right? It's just this like tiny little bring up there.
Well, you can feel it catches Joffrey a little off guard.
Sure.
And then he kind of dismisses it like, oh, dragon bone, that's too, like, I think that this is pretty good. Like, I think Joffrey's reaction, though very minute, is a bit telling. And let's not forget that also, I believe Jaime thinks that Joffrey did it as well to get Robert's approval. So there's two people think it's Joffrey. Now, George could be pulling a fast one on us, and it could end up being Littlefinger. Or I've seen some people speculate that it could be Mance Rayder, which I think is like one of the more interesting. Yeah, I would need to refresh myself on that theory. That was one I heard a long time ago. But I think that Joffrey is almost a little stutter stepped here. When he's like, dagger, oh, like maybe he knows.
Well, if you go back and you track the path of the dagger, right? Like Littlefinger gets it at one point, and then Tyrion has it, and then that's why she thinks that Tyrion is the one who did it. Yeah, it would be like crazy if it was ultimately just Joffrey doing it because he's like, yeah, put the boy out of his misery, you know.
My dad would love this.
Yeah. Why would he at all believe that Robert Baratheon would think that was a good, like, Robert Baratheon would not like that whatsoever.
I don't think Robert would find that to be very cash money. I think he would.
Yeah. I mean, when would we ever believe that he would think like, oh, we should just put like kids out of their misery?
Well, he's a psychopath.
Right.
He thinks about living things in a much different way than we do.
Right. Yeah, it's just so bizarre. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like it that it was ultimately just Joffrey doing it, because it's like
well, it's also going to be about how did Joffrey get it, though. Let's be fair,
right? And that we don't know that.
Could Littlefinger had somehow got it into his possession? But then you would have to, like, Littlefinger would have to have the foresight. The Bran would be that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
none of that stuff would have happened. I don't think if Bran hadn't gotten injured.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of has to be there and in the moment, and what's available to Joffrey, and that dagger being it.
Right.
It's probably Joffrey, to be honest.
No, I mean, it could have been Littlefinger. It could ultimately have been Littlefinger, manipulating him into the situation to do it.
Possibly.
Because Littlefinger could say, oh, I could use this to my advantage to cause a war between the Starks and the Lannisters. And then does it just get out of his control?
It feels like such,
because ultimately his goal, his plan is to try to get Catelyn. That's his game plan. And then once it realizes that's not going to happen, that's when it begins to shift to Sansa.
All right, you want to get real tinfoily?
Sure.
What if the three-eyed raven sent the dagger?
You mean like through somebody,
manipulated the whole thing? As it gives the war, gives Bran the excuse to stay back. That's how Bran gets up, and the inevitability that he becomes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know this is really
no. I don't think you need that, because Bran's fall is what ultimately causes him all that other stuff. The assassin is like totally separate.
Well, the assassin makes more of a necessity that everyone leaves after, like, because that kind of kicks off the whole problem, right, of the war. So
right, now they need to go, and right, because Ned wants to stay back, and then
leaves him isolated.
Right. And then Catelyn's like, no, we have to investigate what happened here.
I don't think this is the case. I just kind of wanted to play the what if game there. Like,
right.
What if it was that? I'll be honest. I think it's Joffrey. I think it's kind of ironic that a child's misguided actions could cause such a ripple effect. But if you look at a lot of the ways wars start in history, a lot of it's really strange and almost seems like minor to blow up into something so large, and a lot of like coincidences too. World War I, for example, would probably be a decent example of this. There were some wars in the past started by people hunting the wrong seafaring animals at the wrong times. I mean, there's been a lot of really weird ways that like big conflicts start. So Joffrey doing this for the approval of his dad, which is kind of a dumb thing to do, could very well just be the truth.